Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa la sharika lah, wa ashhadu Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu ma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Yusuf. Can you say Yusuf? You say Yusuf. Yeah, very good. I wish you'd teach my wife. She keeps mispronouncing it. She calls me useless. Alhamdulillah. Now, how many of you were in the program today? I was teaching us, trying to teach about how to call the people to Islam called dakwah. I just used an example what I was telling you about. Remember I was telling you when you introduce yourself to somebody, you got to get friendly with them. So I just used an example right there. Because this will disarm the people. This disarm them and make them relax a little bit. Because they're coming to you with things like, how come you Muslims has to kill all the people? What kind of question is that? How come you have to beat your wives? Why does your book tell you that you're the only ones going to go to paradise? So these kind of questions, when they come to you, what are you going to do? So the first thing, as we said in the program, and I hope, by the way, if you didn't join us today, join us tomorrow. But when we're doing it, you look through the schedule. I'm not going to get into that, but just look through the schedule and join us for this whenever we're talking about the dawah. Because part of giving dawah is you. And if the people aren't buying it, they're not going to listen to what you got to say. So you got to soften them up a little bit. Got me? Okay, where are we? The subject tonight is the subject of priests and preachers entering Islam. And often people ask me, we heard about you used to be a priest or something and you came into Islam, so, tell us about it. We want to know, how does that happen? And it's not just Muslims who want to know. Non-Muslims would like to know the story too, because they feel like, you mean you didn't understand? I mean, you were a priest, you didn't understand about Jesus? Come on, man. So it's a topic that I talk about a lot. The first thing I have to do is clarify a couple of points. I was not a priest. In the English, we use the word priest to mean somebody who is in the Catholic Church. If you're not from the Catholics, if you're from the Protestants, then you don't use that term. We usually use the term, for instance, pastor, minister, preacher, reverend, and these are some of the titles. We came up with an awful lot of them because that's the way humans are, right? Give ourselves titles. So I was a preacher and a minister of music. But it doesn't really matter, but just if you're talking to a Christian and you say a priest, he's going to say, oh my God, how is that? And when they find out, oh, you weren't a Catholic, well, that's a lie, then you weren't a priest. So I want to clarify that. As a matter of fact, I will tell you, in my own estimation, I'm probably the least of the factions within this equation. Because there were so many other people that came into Islam the same time I did. That's why it takes a little bit of time to tell the story. But they asked me to tell it tonight, so we're going to do that. But I want you to listen carefully to realize what goes through the mind of a person that's not Muslim. Okay? And I usually start out by telling people that my father and I were both ministers, and both of us were also businessmen. In the reverse order. We were business first and preacher second. Got me? Because, well, as they say, business is business. And that's exactly how it worked. We operated mostly in Texas. We had a place in San Antonio, Houston, and also in the Dallas area. And we were very concerned about Christian conditions. So my father started something called Concerned Christian Centers. And basically, if you look at it from a material point of view, it was a place to sell stuff. But what we would do is take consignment things in. People could bring things into us, and then we would sell it and keep part of the money. And keep a lot of the money. But anyway, they would bring in what they make with their hands, arts and crafts. And a lot of old women, they like to sit around and make things, then they give it to us. And this helps the church, which is called the church, and then it helps them as well. So it became like business and religion tied together, and that's very common in our country. At one point, my father told me, we're going to start doing business with a man from Egypt. Well, I said, well, oh, this is great. International sounds good. We can put this in our business card. We're international. He said, and this man is from Cairo, Egypt. And that's where, if you know, they have the Nile River. They have those big pyramids. They have the Sphinx, Abu Hul. You know, they got everything. I'm saying, oh, this is good. He said, and he's a Muslim. I'll never forget it. I've told the story many times, but it's just like it happened yesterday. I'm standing in between the kitchen, or in the dining room and the living room area, you know, like this when we're talking, and I just stopped like this. I said, what? A Muslim? No way. No way do I want anything to do with that. Dad, come on, you should know better than anybody. Because we were linked in with other preachers. My father supported people like Pat Robertson. Huh? You know him? Pat Robertson? And Oral Roberts. He's not very popular anymore, but he used to be real strong. And his ministry up in Tucson, up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. In addition to that, people like Benny Hinn. I don't know if you heard of Benny Hinn. He's coming over this way, so look out. And there's many of them. John Hagee, and the list goes on. Jerry Falwell, Jimmy Swaggart. Some of the names, maybe heard those before. We know these people. We know all about them. All about them, okay? So at one point, here I am standing there talking to my father about a Muslim. These are the enemies of God. This is what we've been taught. These same people, I just mentioned their names, in their preaching on the television and so on, this is what they teach. Muslims are no good. Now it just became Muslims are terrorists, but back then, you know, we didn't reach that level yet. We were still just kidnappers, hijackers, you know. They said that Muslims don't believe in God, that they're worshiping a black box in the desert, and they kiss the ground 5 times a day. Now that's what we know, man. So here's this Muslim going to do business with us. I told my dad, no way, I'm not going to do it. And he insisted. He said, I want you to meet this man. He's very nice. And I said, I don't want to meet him. I never am like this, by the way. But on this case, I said, no, that's one thing I'm going to stand firm against. We're not going to do it. He said, I want you just to meet him. I said, all right, I'll do it for you. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to go to church. And it's going to be on Sunday. When I come out of the church, I'm going to have my Bible under my arm. I'm going to have the salib. I used to carry a big cross. I'm going to have my cross with me. And I'm going to have my hat that says, Jesus is Lord. And I'm going to have my wife, born-again Christian, with me. And we are going to get this demon, devil, infidel, Muslim. And we're going to show him Jesus. Now, this is a true story, by the way. So I got up that morning on Sunday, and I was thinking, man, you know. We went to church. Strangely enough, the preacher was preaching out of the Old Testament about salvation coming at the time of David, which really puzzled me, because according to Christianity, it's coming through Jesus. And it really, that opened a door for me, but that comes up later in the story. Why was he saying there's salvation before Jesus? That's interesting. Now, when I get there to my father's store, I'm looking around, you know. I'm looking for somebody wearing, you know, a long white robe and some kind of black, you know, thing over that with a long beard. And I guess I was looking for me, wasn't I? Anyhow, when I get in there, I don't see this guy. By the way, imama, sword, everything. Ayatollah Khomeini, maybe. This is what I had pictured. I said, where is he? I'm ready. My father said, he's over here. I said, where? I said, here. This is a normal guy. He was normal. He didn't have a beard. He didn't have any hair at all. How do you do? I told him my name. He introduced himself. His name is Muhammad. I said, how do you do? After the niceties of hello, how are you, how's everything, I said, do you believe in God? He said, yes. Oh, yeah? Sure. I said, but do you believe in the God of Moses? He said, yeah. Abraham? Yeah. What about David and Suleiman? He said, yeah. So when I meet this man, I'm impressed that he's believing these things, but I thought maybe he's just saying it. So I even asked him, what about Jesus? Because I thought maybe they're kind of, first I thought Muslims were like Hindus. That was first. And then when he said he believed in some of the things of the Bible, I said, okay, maybe they're like Jews. So that's when I said, yes, but what about Jesus? Do you believe in Jesus? And he said, yes. I said, okay, wait a minute. This is going to be easy. I can convert this guy. So I agreed that we're going to do business with him. And in fact, I took him immediately out to have tea together. We sit together, drink tea, talk a little while. And I start tearing the peach stream right away. I'm in the Bible. I got it right there. Flip it open. Genesis. Let's talk about Abraham. What do you know about Abraham? Abraham, he had 2 sons, you see. And blah, 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 blah. And I'm doing all the preaching to him. Imagine this. And he sat there. Okay. He's a graduate of Allah's heart. And like this. Get me? You know what I'm saying? Well, it happened that during Ramadan, some of his friends that he was staying with had to move their apartment around or something, and he was going to go stay in the masjid for itikaf in Ramadan. It's normal. We didn't understand. I thought he has nowhere to go, and I told my dad, this man has nowhere to go. And my dad said, no, he's got money. I said, no, he doesn't. Daddy, I'm telling you, he has no place to go. I heard him say he's going to go live in the mosque. To a Christian, if you're going to live in the church, ooh, that's the worst. So I said, let me offer that he can stay at our place. And my dad said, no, you don't do that. That's not right. I said, no, I'm going to offer it to him. I went to him and I said, how would you like to come stay at our place? He said, no, I want to go and stay there. I want to stay in the mosque and something good. I said, oh man, look at this poor man. Oh my God. He doesn't know, you know. He just... oh, poor soul. Please come and stay in our house. And he said, no, I can't. I need to go stay over there. I said, look, I'm scratching his dignity. So I told him, listen, no. I want you to come and you can pay. You can pay money and stay with us. He said, how much? I said, $15 a week. Which in America is like nothing. $15 is nothing. I said, and then he kind of hesitated. I said, and we'll pay for all the food. Well, you eat $15 worth of food in one day in America. He said, okay, all right. And I told my dad later, I said, see how I did that? Because now he'll stay with us. He knows he's getting a good deal on the food, and I was making it all about money. Well, I didn't know he wanted to come and stay with us. He wanted to learn about how are Americans and how is the dawah going to be. What do we believe? Especially people who are preaching. So he came and stayed in our house. And I said, well, now that's good. I'll travel with him and go with him in places, and he'll see and he'll learn about Christianity. As we were traveling and working together, we put up tables just like this and booths and things and set things out for people to come and look at them and sell things. And I caught him one time. When somebody wanted to take something from the front, he took it from the back and gave it to him. And I looked at him. And the next time somebody started to take something, he took from the back and gave it to him. I said, hey, Muhammad, we take the stuff from the front because that's the old stuff. The new stuff in the back, just hold it back. You know what I'm saying? This is dated material. Get rid of the junk first. He said, no, I can't. In my religion, we can't sell something unless we give the people the best. I said, got me on that one. And I'm supposed to be telling him about a better deal. I said, okay, yeah, whatever. You're never going to make any money, though. But that's all right. Over a period of time, I came to learn a lot of things. Also about being humble. A lot. Because this man was obviously well-educated, very articulate. He could really talk about a lot of subjects. In fact, I tried to debate with him about many things. But he was so wise and well-educated that he could see what I was doing, and he would take it easy and let me win every debate. I could win any debate with him if he wanted me to. But if he wanted me to lose, I was going to lose. This was how well he could handle it. Now what happened, one of the preachers that I knew, another preacher, who used to carry a big cross and walk down the street so people would stop and talk to him about religion, he had a heart attack and he went to the hospital. So I went to the hospital to visit him, and when I was visiting him, I met another man in the hospital who was in a wheelchair. This gentleman had a problem. He didn't want to talk to anybody. And I told him, let me witness to you. Let me share the message of Jesus with you. So I took out my Bible, and again, I started telling him about a prophet, Prophet Yunus, alayhi salam. And I'm telling them, look at Jonah. He's in the belly of the whale. He's in the sea. He's down there like this, and who knows how long. And suffering like this, you don't have as big a problem as that. And God saved him, so he could save you too. He said, didn't want to talk to me. I asked him, what's your name? You don't want to tell me. Where are you from? He said, I'm from Venus. So what's that? Well, there is a Venus, Texas, by the way. But he said, he's from another planet. So I kept, each time I would go, I would talk to him, witness to him. Finally, one day, he started crying. I was pushing his wheelchair around. I took him down. I rolled him around different places. He started crying one day. He said, I'm going to confess something to you. I need to confess something to you. Now, to a Catholic, confession means you're going to tell the priest all your sins. And then he's going to forgive you. Well, I wasn't Catholic. And I told him, listen, I'm not Catholic and I'm not a priest. I'm a preacher. He said, I know better than you do. I am a priest. I said, oh my God. This man is a priest and he knows the Bible better than I do. He said, I just have had a hard time. I've been here and having heart attacks, and I've been having problems and everything, and trying to figure out a lot of things. He said, I'm sorry I took it out on you. I really am. I apologize. And he started crying. And when he started crying, I felt sorry. I hugged him and I said, it's okay. One day I went to the hospital, and my friend was gone. So I started visiting with the priest. And that happened one time. I went to visit him at the hospital, and he was gone. And I asked him, where did he go? They said he went home. I said, home? He's a missionary priest from South America. How did he go home? She said, I don't know. He's not here. I'm sure his family. I said, he has no family. I know him personally. He has no family. Where did he go? She said, I don't know. We're not responsible for them. I said, well, let me see where he went. You got it in your file? She said, I can't do that. Those are locked up. Nobody can look in the file. And I got in the lady's face and I said, listen to me. This man could die in the street right now, and it's going to be your fault. And you're going to get sued because I'm going to sue you for him. She said, okay, his folder's over there, but I'm not going to watch. I went over and I looked for it, got the address where he went. Sure enough, he was in a place where they put people that have no place to go, a shelter. So I went to the shelter and I found him. He was still on crutches. He saw me, he started crying again. He said, please get me out of here, get me out of here. I said, okay, come live at my house. Now, I told you the story so you can see something. Now look, I have 2 visitors in my house. One is a Catholic priest, the other is a Muslim. And I'm thinking I can get the Catholic priest and convert him to be a Protestant. At the same time, I'm going to catch the Muslim and bring him over to Christianity. High aspirations. But it didn't work. Some strange things began to happen. We would sit around the table at night to discuss what is the Bible and what's the salvation. My father has a Bible. It's called King James Version of the Bible. Most of you probably heard about it, especially any students of Ahmadiyyat or Zakir Naik. You've heard about King James Version of the Bible. But I work out of a different one that I've had since 1953. It's called the Revised Standard Version. And it says in it, King James Version has grave mistakes, grave errors, defects in it. That's what it says. So I began to preach out of mine, which doesn't match. Now my father said, no, it's this way. I said, no, it's this way. Now my wife comes up with her Bible from Jimmy Swaggart. It's called The Good News for Modern Man. Okay? Totally different. It's written in modern vernacular. You can just, say anything you want to with it. You don't even recognize the Bible anymore. The Catholic priest, he's got another Bible. An older Bible with 73 books, we're working out of 66 books. And his is not even the same in the verses. It doesn't match up at all. And I never even knew about this subject until then. And he's saying this, and I'm saying that. My father's saying something else. My wife's on something else. And all the time, Muhammad the Muslim is sitting over there like this. So we asked him. I guess it was me asking him. I said, well, how many versions of your book, your Quran, do you have? He said, the Quran has no versions. There's only one. It's original. It's in the Arabic language. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. This is the book that has no doubt. Hudal al-Muttaqin. It's guidance for those who have taqwa for Allah. This shield or taqwa that you have to have between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.